This few months ago now, with Meghan Markle sitting down alongside her husband, the former royal known as the Duke of Sussex, this time for supposedly a big sort of conversation on the CBS show Sunday Morning with Jane Powley. And what was interesting about this was, of course, Meghan once again managed to turn this around into something clearly all about herself, rather than the hot topic which it should have been, their latest thing, their latest charitable endeavour. And the focus of the media really was this. But apparently Meghan was once again very upset for one simple reason. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. And thank you, by the way, for your lovely comments regarding Liam Payne. And it's true, we talked about child stars, weren't we? And about Helen Shapiro, being lucky enough to meet her. And of course, the brilliant Jimmy Osmond. And I would say the reason why I say Jimmy Osmond and Donny Osmond, all those people, it was part of a family. They were very much a unit. They all worked together and continued to work together for many years. And I think that's really part of the problem. Once you become into a band that not necessarily you are friends with, but are put together by a label, that does become problematic because egos rise to the surface. You wouldn't believe some of the stories I could tell you about boy band egos, who's in the video longer, who gets to sing the lead. It never ends, you know what I'm saying? Some people might say, of course, the same thing about the ongoing drama that is the royal soap opera of Meghan and Harry. You see, if you remember when they sat down and she was all in beige once again, or some kind of chocolatey brown, it was all about the parent association or something they were putting together. And I never really understood what their messages are, because everything gets engulfed and taken over. It's a little bit like Meghan on the red carpet for the Children's Charity Hospital. Suddenly it's all about her, rather than the charity endeavour. And some might say this was the same problem, of course, for Meghan when she sat down with CBS, because she decided to reveal, all thanks to being prompted, promoted, whatever, by the interviewer, about her terrible suicidal thoughts while inside the British monarchy. Remember that? Nobody helped her. She was told she couldn't get assistance, even though her husband, Prince Harry, apparently had been having therapy for many years. So why didn't he know anybody? But that becomes part of the folklore. Well, according to a source, you see, Meghan apparently was very mortified by the fact, and upset, whatever you want to call it, tearful, always turning it back to her, that apparently nobody from the British monarchy, including His Majesty the King, King Charles, or indeed William or Catherine, reached out to say that this was clearly still a problem all these years later. Now, one might say, of course, that the bigger problem is the fact that there are people still traumatised by the Diva Duchess in high heels, the demon boss. But of course, no mention of that, of course. No, that wouldn't be possible. And this is really going to be the basis of Meghan's idea moving forward. She, if you remember, famously said, if it helps one person, I don't mind taking a hit for that. But nobody inside the British monarchy, as ever we have to say allegedly, including former staff, ever remembers hearing Meghan talking about these particular very dark thoughts. And I'm not being disrespectful about that. Clearly there must have been a lot of people around her. Let's face it, she was in a palace full of people alongside her husband, Prince Harry, out at Windsor. There must have been somebody that she could have spoken to. She says she did and was told to be quiet for the good of the monarchy, the institution. Nobody remembers having that conversation, and if they did, they would have come forward, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. So this seemingly seems like yet another veiled threat from Meghan, as if, well, nobody's asked about me, yet everybody's focusing on other members of the British monarchy. Suddenly she's remembered that she could have been, may have been, and some might say should have been, part of the British royal family. But then her father, Thomas Markle, might equally make the same claims. Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.